Hello, how are you doing? Would you like to be my neighbor? Um, okay, tournament game. Next one. Up against Magic Geek here. So I've never played against Magic Geek before, but he's a real hallmark of the War of the Ring online community. He's won the world tournament. I think it's like 4 times before. He's just been around since very early on. So, which I think is more times than anyone else has won the world tournament. So that's quite something. Anyway, so I've never played him before. So here we go. Do I have anything to say? No, I don't think so. Anyway. Okay, so he's the Free Peoples this time. I'm the Shadow. We rolled for it to see who'd pick. We both rolled 1, then we both rolled 6. It's funny enough that, you know what, I'm going to scroll back for it. He rolls a 1, I roll 1. He rolls a 6, I rolls a 6. Then his 4 beat my 3. So he got to pick these Free Peoples. I do my usual 0 eyes, and I get this. So if he rolls not that much movement, then it's okay. But he rolls 4 movement. So that is the, about 2% worst start. So this is the part where I panic. But I have Lidless Eye. So he passes, and I thought for quite a long time here about whether I do this or not. So I could use this Palantir to play Lidless Eye and put this character die result into the box as an eye. And then I would have my, 1 die roll for all 4 of these movements. I could even put in a second die if I was feeling crazy. But honestly, just spending 2 dice just to have a roll feels like a bad idea. Because for starters, I'm probably going to miss him on the first 2 rolls anyway. And do I really want to hit him like just once just to help him kill Gandalf? So I decide against it anyway. Who knows? That might have been a mistake. I really don't know. So I move armies first. He passes again. I muster Isengard to war. He passes again. I do my usual army shuffles towards Dew and Lorien. Fellowship moves. I move armies again. Fellowship moves. I bring in Saruman here. And this is kind of a mistake. It's kind of a bait. So he can, if he wants to here, separate Gandalf and then turn him into Gandalf the White. And I actually did that on purpose here. Because I was kind of thinking to myself, like, man, I just really wanted the Fellowship to slow down. So maybe that's a mistake to let him get Gandalf the White turn 1. But at the same time, then he's paying 2 free movement for it. So he decides to move anyway, which I think is the right choice. I draw a strategy card. Fellowship moves again, and away goes the army off towards the Dew line. So he picks up... I will go alone, fear fire foes, challenge of the king. Wow, those are 3 fantastic crowning Aragorn and using him kind of cards there. And guards the Citadel to protect him more in Minas Tirith. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I pick up Horde from the East and Black Captive Commands. Those are decent cards for, moving towards the Dew line anyway. So Fellowship, okay, got to put in 1 eye this time. I roll 2 more, and he rolls that delightful roll. So I say GG will play, but... because that's just so demoralizing to see. Like, first he gets a ton of free movement, and then I roll 3 eyes, which is just like, hey, go ahead and kill Gandalf. It's fine. It's free. So, like, this turn, he could move, like, twice, and if he didn't get hit, he could use a ring to move a 3rd time and then get Gandalf the White. So I'm looking at, potentially, by the end of turn 2, he's moved, like, 6 or 7 times and be on 5 dice. That just feels awful. And this turn, all I'm going to get done is I'm going to muster Sauron to war, and I'm going to shuffle a little bit more towards there because I rolled 3 eyes. Anyway, Sauron goes to war. Fellowship moves. Is safe. Armies move some more. Fellowship moves again. They're hit this time. It's a 1. So, at least it's good news that it wasn't a 3. Anyway, that's the main good news. What I was hoping for was a 0 reveal into an eye draw, just so that he couldn't kill Gandalf this turn, but a 1 is still something. So he chooses to take the 1 damage, and, you'll see what he does. So I keep chugging along here, because I'm expecting him to use a ring to move again. So that's why I'm holding on to my Palantir here, because so if he uses a ring, moves again, very, very likely to kill Gandalf. Then I'll use the ring to move these armies to Dimril Dale and this army into Old Forest Road, just, be a little faster. But instead he chooses to play I Will Go Alone here. Shows that Strider has 10 movement. That's pretty cute. I haven't done that before, but that works. So with this 10 movement, 6 Fellowship movement, 3 from Strider, 1 from the card, very cutely gets him to Minas Tirith. And he gets to heal that 1 corruption that he took. So that's something. And then he draws into Mirror of Galadriel. with the Gandalf ability. So I step into Old Forest Road. He crowns Aragorn, and I use Stormcrow on Gondor. I very rarely have played Stormcrow on Gondor before. Yeah, it's just really weird seeing all the Free People's Nations on step 3. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before, actually. So that's fun. He chooses to kill the leader in Minas Tirith. I think that's probably the best call. Like maybe one of the regulars out here, but they're pretty useful too, so I don't know. Anyway, so he draws there and back again in Celeborn, decent cards, and I draw Orc Patrol and Swarm of Bats. Always happy to see Swarm of Bats when I'm about to assault the Dew Line. One eye in, another one rolled. He rolls 2 more movement and some other good stuff. So he plays Celeborn's Galadrim here and gets to do some nice cycling with Gandalf. I'd probably check there and back again. Yep, he did too. So I attack Woodland Realm here. I think for a bit because I could move out and besiege Lorien, but I only have 3 attacks this turn and then a muster. So and I'd really like to get the Witch King in here. So if I spend 1 attack doing that, then it's besiege, and then the elves are not at war. So I decide instead, since Lorien is already somewhat more defended from Celeborn, that I'm just going to attack Woodland Realm and do something else with this army later. Maybe Helm's Deep, maybe Rivendell. Maybe even Gondor. So he plays Guards of the Citadel, gets to keep cycling. And of course, when you see your opponent draw a strategy card and you just besiege something like Woodland Realm, I think to myself, let's blow that up quick just in case he just picked up Thranduil. So I attack and smack down a Deadly Strife. That always feels good. So I get my 3 hits, and he gets 2 hits plus the 1 from the No Quarter. So I did take a bit more damage than I was hoping to, but that's to be expected. And of course, the elves are now at war because 1 to besiege it, 1 to attack again, 1 for it being conquered. So I can get the Witch King now and be very happy about it. He musters in Lorien. I bring in the Witch King. The other plus side is that bring the elves at war, then he's kind of prompted to muster in Lorien again before I besiege it. And now he only has these 2 dice. So there was no option to use that muster to hide a Strider. I remember thinking that during the game and then realizing, oh wait, there is no Strider anyway because he crowned Erebor. So that muster is going to be useless for hiding anyway. But if I'm lucky here, he would move and get hit and get revealed. So that way he doesn't get to move twice this turn. He has to spend a second character die hiding. So anyway, it's also nice to get the Witch King in so that I can use one of these Palantirs to play Black Captain commands here. So I play Black Captain commands. I just get more Nazgul. I usually prefer to pivot with it just because that's more attacking speed, but I want to besiege Erebor right now before that regular can walk in. So I need to use it for an attack, so I might as well get more Nazgul. So I'm attacking Dale. I play my Swarm of Bats. He plays Heroic Death. I get my 1 hit. And for a second, I was like, oh, darn, just 1 against his Heroic Death. But, oh, right, Swarm of Bats canceled Heroic Death anyway. So here we are. And he gets 1 hit back. So, so the progress is going reasonably well, but it is that army is running out. It keeps getting hurt. So he moves, and he's safe. I play Many Kings. Just always feels good to have that ready to go. He moves again, and he gets hit, and it's a 3. So, Shuckle darn. That is just a perfect Gandalf kill right there. And I besiege Erebor here, in case he rolls a hybrid down next turn. Excited for the sneeze. There we go. Okay, and now he draws into Thranduil. Classic timing. This game is so rude like that sometimes. Okay. So I draw into Musterings and Lure of the Ring. So he said, thought about it for a bit. So I'm not sure what he was thinking. I think he was maybe thinking about declaring in Minas Tirith, just so that if he got revealed, he wouldn't get hit by the Balrog redraw. But I don't think that would be worth slowing yourself down by 1 just to get like it is nice getting to another safe point like that. But I think he made the correct call of just saying Fellowship. Okay. Okay, so I roll, add 1 more eye in. He gets 3 movement, so I'm really feeling not great right now. Just feeling like he's going to skip along into Mordor this turn, and I don't know, maybe have my Southern army there. It's a really awkward, it's 1 die short of being very fluid. So I'm going to muster the Southrons down twice. That part makes sense. And then I have 2 army dice, so I could go 1-2, join them together in East Rune, then use the other one to attack Iron Hills. And now I have the reinforcements stuck here, and what I'd have left is a Palantir and 2 character dice, and no ring to use. So then, what? Would I use 1 character dice just to move Nazgul over here and then move the army over? That just feels so inefficient. So Anyway, I go ahead mustering the Southrons down. He moves the Fellowship, and they get hit and revealed. So that's probably the big first stroke of luck I've had this game. Because if they hadn't got revealed here, then it would be 100% that they make it to Mordor this turn. Because it doesn't matter if I have Cruel Weather; they're going to make a 10th movement and either get revealed in or stay in Rivendell, which is safe from Cruel Weather. So he takes 1 corruption and reveals in Daggerlad. Then I draw another tile from Moria, which is a 1, so that's fine. So I decide to attack the Iron Hills here. Just seeing that he's been revealed, it makes me really want to cycle character cards. So I attack, and I think I'm cycling Lidless Eye here. Yeah. I don't hit him, which is annoying, but is actually kind of helpful, as we'll see in a moment. So the dwarves are at war now, and I leave 1 regular behind. So he could sortie out of Erebor and muster in it. But if he did sortie, I'd probably just besiege it again. So anyway. So I draw into a red tile, which is nice. Then I play Orc Patrol here. So my thinking for Orc Patrol, he only has 1 movement left. I'm going to attack East Rune and cycle with Lure of the Ring and hopefully draw into Cruel Weather. Playing Orc Patrol now, I actually have pretty good odds of drawing a standard revealing tile. It's about 40% anyway. It's like 5 out of 12, something like that anyway. And if I reveal him, then he has to use the character die to hide and then use a ring to get in. So at least I'm costing him a ring. And who knows, maybe I'll cycle into Cruel Weather and then I can stall him for a whole turn. So I get my wish. I get the 1 reveal. So that's just dandy. He used the character die to hide again. I muster the Southrons the rest of the way to war. Then I attack East Rune from the Witch King, doing my cycling plans. I play there, terrible. Finally get that dwarf. And I draw into Wormstorm Toil. So that's not Cruel Weather, which is a bummer, but okay. So he thinks about playing first, but then he realizes I think he wants to get some companions into Erebor, and they're 1 space short. 2 from the level, 2 from We Prove the Swifter. So he uses a ring to move first and doesn't get hit 4/4, just right on the edge of getting it. It's very just as a shadow player, you get that role, kind of just sitting there growling and snarling with your teeth, just like, you feel like the dog that's behind the fence. It's like, I want to bite you, but there's just almost get you, but I can't quite get you. I might be too into this game. So okay, so the Southrons move along. I originally was going to unite both the armies, but then I realized I don't really need these 4 regulars. The 5-1 here will unite perfectly with the 4 units already there. So I decided to move this army out closer to Dol Amroth instead. So now he plays We Prove the Swifter and puts both Boromir and Gimli into Erebor, which is a pain for sure. So I chuck a red tile in there, and away we go. So I draw into Balrog and Monsters Rouse. I'm not really excited to see Balrog. I'm probably not going after Lori in this game. Monsters Rouse is fun, though, because sometimes you can get a fun pivot here. Like if I play Monsters Rouse and then get the nice Shadows Gather card, then I can swing this army over to Rivendell quick. It's really fun if you get to do that. The Dol Guldur army does its best Tarzan impersonation. It just swings its way along to Trollshaws. Okay, so 1 eye in, no more eyes rolled. Very happy to see that. And he rolls 4 movement, though. So I remember thinking to myself, should I put in 3 eyes here? Since he separated those 2 companions, now he's at net -1 corruption. And it's a decent eye percentage since there's the red eye in there and there's no blue tiles or other red tiles. So it's like 5 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 3. So 5 out of 13. So that's, it's not crazy likely to hit an eye, but it's probably going to hit one sooner or later. So in the end, I decided it's big enough that it's probably not going to win me the game to chuck in 3 eyes. But if I can quick conquer, the world, then that would win me the game. So I decided to go 0 eyes, and he chucks in Smeagol Helps Nice Master. I bring in the mouth, and he moves and hits an eye. So now I'm a little bit wishing I'd put 3 eyes in there, but oh well. So be it. He takes a random, and it's Mary and Skippity-Doo-Dah-Day. So I draw into Ringwraiths Are Abroad. He hides. So I draw here because I've got a couple different options. He had no musters, so I'm definitely tempted. At first, I was going to take this army and run to Dol Amroth and get it, but I realized he also doesn't have any hybrid dice, and Helm's Deep is wide open. Like, these armies haven't moved at all. And who knows, I might draw into Corsairs and still be able to double back and get Dol Amroth this way. So I changed plans and decided to go after that, because then I can also use one of these Palantirs to play fighting Uruk-hai. If I bring the orc from North Dunland that has taken the long scenic route to get Helm's Deep this time. Then, so okay. So I drew a character card there because I have a use for 2 of my Palantirs for playing Ring Racer Abroad. No, I didn't have Ring Racer Abroad yet. I had one that was going to be used for fighting Uruk-hai, and one I was going to use a ring on, but I had a 3rd Palantir. So I figured I might as well draw a character card first in case I get Ring Racer Abroad or Grant, because then that would change my plans. And I did get Ring Racer Abroad, so that was nice. Okay, so I bring this army closer to Erebor and that army out to go get Helm's Deep. He moves the Fellowship again, and it's a 0 reveal. I'm very happy to see a reveal here, especially one of the standard ones, because if he was down to Gollum, then that wouldn't reveal anymore. But because there's still these companions in the way, then I'm very happy to see that slowing him down. Okay, so that army gets to Erebor, and that army is running there, so he hides, and then... Let's see, I decided to use a ring here anyway, because that way I can save Ring Racer Abroad to use on a Palantir next turn, and there's good odds he's going to give me another ring next turn as he continues to sprint. So that's how I choose to do that. So they run into West Emnet, and they besiege Helm's Deep, and then if it's a little bit overkill to play fighting Uruk-hai here, but at the same time, it's just using a Palantir to get an attack done, you know. So I attack Helm's Deep, no card, I roll a 6, he rolls a 6, it's really no big deal. Okay, so I'm up to 5 points. I made a bit of a mess out of Rohan because they're at war now, but this army's big enough that, you know, I could probably double back to get Edoras and defend Helm's Deep at the same time if I need to. Okay, he draws File and King Brand. 1 second. Okay, carrying on. What just happened? Right, we're starting a new turn here. I chucked Balrog because, yeah, I'm very, very not going after Lorien anymore. I'm a little worried about a Free People's military attempt here. Like, Elves at War, 5-unit stronghold, completely empty Moria and Dol Guldur. That is 10 out of 10 alarming. He chucks Challenge of the King. Really? I'm a little surprised by that. Like, you have Aragorn sitting there in Minas Tirith. I guess you're not too scared about corruption. But, like, also there's a red eye in there to get rid of, you know? I probably would have checked Paths of the Woses first. Or Swords in Eriador. Anyway, he's allowed to do things differently. That is kind of the whole point of the game. It's just seeing the choices we all make. There's always something to argue either way. Okay, so 1 eye in, 2 more rolled, 2 movement for him. So if he doesn't get revealed, then he could, in theory, move 3 times and make it this turn. That's not impossible. So he moves anyway and hits the red eye. So obviously I'm very, very happy to see that. There was only 1 red tile in there. To be fair, it's been there for all 3 moves, so it's not like insanely unlikely, but it's still lucky for me though, yeah. So away go the companions, and they're, you know, stopped and revealed. So definitely can't win this turn anyway. So now I have to ask myself the question: can I win this turn? Because I think I really should try to win this turn, because he can hide again and then use a ring to move again. And then next turn, he'd only be 2 steps away. So it's very likely he could win next turn. So I really should try to win this turn. So I decide that I should probably try to blow up Erebor right now in case he has Dane in hand, but didn't play it first because he was worried about me playing Day Without Dawn. So I figure I should try that first. So away we go. So I go against Erebor, and I play Worn with Sore and Toil here just because... it's only useful to me here. It's not going to be useful anywhere else, so that's why I use it first. Maybe I should have played a strategy card first, just so I could cycle into another strategy card, but here we are. It ran into Paths of the Woses, though, so, oh, right, that's why he wanted to hang on to that one, because it was a useful card for defending in Erebor. That makes sense. I still probably would have chucked Swords in Eriador or Tom Bombadil over Challenge of the King, but anyway. So I cancel Gimli. The Sudden Strike misses. I get 1 hit. He gets 2. So... that's that. I press, and I think now I'm playing Mumakil. And he plays Shield Wall, so I get 2 hits and no more hits. It's always annoying when it gives you the 5s on the reroll. Like, if you'd put the 5s up here and the 6s down here, this would have been a lot better for me, dice. But anyway, so I get 2 hits, -1 from the Shield Wall, only 1 hit, and he gets 4 hits back. So that is downright unlovely. I don't press here. Maybe I should have, but I was worried that if I pressed and played another Desperate Battle, like what if he played a Confusion or a Sudden Strike? Like I might just delete this army and lose my pressure entirely. So I decide to wait and play dreadful spells first and then try again. Which is a little bit too slow, but well, that's what I did. So I get 2 hits, which is good. 3 hits would have been just over the moon fantastic. So maybe I should have actually played dreadful spells first and then attacked. But right, I was scared of Dane, so that's why I hit the gas on that. So I get 2 hits, though. That's good. I should be able to finish it now. I attack Erebor. I use Desperate Battle here. I get my 1 hit. He gets 3 hits back, but that's probably not too useful. I was really hoping to draw into Corsairs here, but no Corsairs for me. So now I've got 4 dice. So I'm going to play Ring Wraiths Abroad, and this army is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will get Pelargir and Dol Amroth and hopefully win me the game. The downside is, though, he has 3 hybrid dice, so I'm really worried about Aragorn coming out and fighting me for Pelargir. Yeah, so this army can come out from west to West Emnet, but I'm just 1 die short of having that extra attack to be able to take Edoras. So my plan at this point, anyway, is to, at least hopefully make him spend his dice retaking Pelargir, and then hopefully his dice just suck again next turn and he doesn't have enough dice to finish. That's pretty much the only hope for me at this point. Okay, so Ring Wraiths are abroad, attack Pelargir. I'm cycling the character cards here, just hoping for Grond or a red tile, because a red tile would also increase my odds of hanging on another turn. So I get my hit, he does not get a hit, and I draw into a red tile, which is handy should that event arise. So he thought about mustering down Gondor, but didn't, which I think was a good call, because I'm clearly running to Dol Amroth, so I'm going to put Gondor at war for you anyway. So this is the interesting benefit from Stormcrow, that Gondor is not at war right now. Normally, if you attack Pelargir, that 100% means Gondor's at war, because they start only 2 steps away, and you had to attack a unit and then capture a settlement. So, bizarrely, Gondor, has Pelargir conquered, but is still 1 step away from war. So I think that's the first time I've seen that, too. So he plays Tom Bombadil instead, just in case I had Rage of the Dunlendings and was going after the Shire. I think I would have probably moved Aragorn to Osgiliath with that move if it was me. I guess then you'd have to be worried about this army going to get Minas Tirith, but even if I get it, you can still just take Pelargir and then you're still holding on another turn. So I think that's what I would have done. But anyway, he plays Tom Bombadil. I move out towards Dol Amroth, and I leave 2 regulars behind because I don't want to have to pray for another showdown like last game. If you watched my other game recently, I had 1 regular in Pelargir stand and fight off 2 regulars from Osgiliath and win that fight, and that was really lucky. So I don't want... with 2 regulars, I'm much more likely to win that fight because I have the defensive start anyway. But I do want to keep enough people here because, it's been 6 turns. He's cycled a lot of strategy cards. Like, I'm definitely worried about Emerhill or Círdan's ships here because the elves are at war and there are 2 elites there. So I do want to keep enough units to actually threaten Dol Amroth. So he thought for quite a while here and musters in Dol Amroth. I really think it would have been better to bring Aragorn out to Osgiliath, give Dol Amroth up for dead, and just take Pelargir and guarantee another turn. But he did it this way. So I besiege Dol Amroth. He uses a ring to move again. So, which, if Dol Amroth holds, that's great. But so he hits an eye, though, which is bad luck for sure. So now he's up to 7 corruption and is 2 steps away. So that's definitely doable because it's not a very dangerous hunt pool anymore. But yeah, so it all comes down to whether I can take Dol Amroth here. So I open with Desperate Battle because, of course, I want to cycle into another strategy card. He plays Shield Wall, which is good. I got 3 hits, so -1's 2 hits, and he gets 2 hits back. That's a decent start for me. So I press, of course, and I draw into Devilry of Orthanc. Not one of the 2 deadly strifes that could have been out there, just Devilry of Orthanc. Thanks a lot. Devilry of Orthanc, you. Anyway, so I'm insane. So I say no card here. He also says no card. He rolls 1 hit. I rolled 0 hits. That is Frustrato for sure. Press. And now I'm playing Onslaught, and now he plays Advantageous Position. What was the other card? Right, it's a gift. Clearly not playable. So I roll no hits, 1 hit, and he rolls no hits. So it's actually quite lucky for me that he rolled 0 hits here, because now I can put a full 4 regulars on the Onslaught. Like, I just need the average of 2 hits, and I win the game. If I get, 1 or 0 hits, then we, go on to another turn. But I get my 2 hits, just barely. So that's the end of game 1. Whoo-wee, man, after turn 2, I really thought I was cooked. Just with the amount of movement he rolled compared to the number of attacks I rolled, he had a huge lead. I think, lucky with how much the Fellowship got revealed in Mordor, and just lucky that my cards came in the right order to get to 10 points by turn 6, because turn 6 is fast. Like you have to get, like you have to play efficiently, and more importantly, you have to get lucky to get a military win by turn 6. So it was a fast one. Yeah, we did game 1 and 2 back to back here anyway. Because I think this game took less than an hour anyway, because we were both playing relatively quickly, and it's only 6 turns long. So let's take a look at the statistics here. So -4 on 6s and -2 on 5s for me. So there's a little bit of a something for me to complain about there. But I did also get pretty balanced action dice, +1 on attacks overall. So that's not particularly, God didn't show his favor through that today. Anyway, that's pretty normal. +5 on characters, -1 on wills for him. He did actually never get Gandalf the White. I forgot about this. He crowned Aragorn, and then he never rolled another Will of the West, I don't think. So that being said, I don't think getting Gandalf at this point would have actually made a huge difference. Like the game was going to end pretty quick anyway. But a good game, very close game. And I will see you next time.